This is the G Suite training video for Google Forms Basics. In this video, we're going to learn how to create a form. We're going to manipulate some settings within the form. We're going to learn how to send your form and then also analyze the data from the responses that your form gets. So let's get out of the presentation. What we'll do is we'll open a new window and we'll go up to Google Drive. We'll go to New. We have to come down to More, and then we can go into our forms. Alright, so we have to talk about how to create a form. So by signing into Google Forms, or opening up Google Forms, we already have the shell of a form. So the first thing you want to do is add a title. I just called it Test. You can put a description below if you wish. Now, we have several options of creativity when it comes to designing this form. You can come up to the color palette and we can change the color of the form, or you could go to this picture looking icon and you could select one of the selected themes. I'll pick the guitar one and hit select. And what that's going to do is it's going to load a guitar themed form for you. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to add some questions. So if you go to this plus arrow, we can add a couple questions. There are several different types. There's short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop down, and some more down here as well. We could ask the date and the time as well if that's something that you see fit for your form. There are other things that we could do to our form. We can add a title and a description for a set of questions. This is a multiple choice section. Please pick the answers that best fit the question. Is an example of added title and description. We can add an image. So if the multiple choice question is asking students to look at a reaction or a diagram or a chart or a picture, you can add that image and they can look at that image to come up with the answer. You could add a video. So at the top of your form, if you want to add a video and all the questions below it are based off of that video, then you can work that way. And then we can add sections, meaning that they have to complete that whole section before moving to the next section of questions. One thing I want you to pay attention to is you want to make all the questions that they are getting points for required, and even the ones that are identifiers like their name, the period that they're in, things like that, you want to make them required, otherwise they can skip them. If you make them required and they try to skip them, it will tell them that they have to finish that question before they can move on. If you have a bunch of multiple choice questions that are going to have the same answer choices below, you might want to consider duplicating the question. When you duplicate it, everything from this question will move down to the next question. At the same time, if you find that you don't want this question anymore, you could also delete it. There are some more advanced options with forms that we'll go over in a different video with an advanced badge, such as making an answer key to your Google form if you're using it as a formative or summative assessment. Also, there's 3 dots here which allows you to add descriptions or shuffle the options order. All this stuff we'll go over in a different video. So that is pretty much how to create your form. Now we have to move on to our settings and the preview of our form. At any point in time, if you want to look at a preview of your form, you could go up to this eyeball, which is the preview. When you click on it, what it's going to do is it's going to show you exactly what it looks like to the student. So this is the only question that I kind of started. Once the students are done, they'll submit it. Pay no attention to the editing symbol up here. The only reason why that is there is because I am the one that created this, so I can edit it. It's just an easy way of going back. The students will not see that. Now the other thing that we want to pay attention to is settings. Alright, settings gives us a bunch of different options. First, in our general settings, which is what we'll go over in this video, is we have the ability to collect email addresses without making that a question. So because they're in the HVRSD platform, we can easily have everyone's HVRSD emails collected as they fill this out. We can also limit this to one response by clicking this box, meaning they can only take it once. If it's a formative assessment, you might want to let them take it over and over and over again. But if it's a summative assessment, you definitely probably want to limit this to one. Notice we can restrict within our own server, which I would recommend doing for summative assessment. Formative, once again, it's a little bit more lenient. You just want to show progress. It's up to you. So down here there's some options whether you want the student to be able to edit after they submit, meaning if they know that they got a couple answers wrong, do you want them to go back and change them? You could also see summary charts and text responses in there as well. Now there are other advanced settings such as presentation and quizzes. Presentation allows you to shuffle the question order and show progress bar, so how far the students have gotten. And then the quizzes is going to be part of the more advanced Google Forms video. Once you're done, all you have to do is hit save and your options are saved there. Alright, our next objective is to learn how to send and share this form with your students. Alright, to send this form, what you're going to do is you're going to go up to send. Alright, there are a couple different ways that you could send this to them. You can type in all their emails. You can share a link by clicking this link here. I would recommend shorting the link. When you do that, you can copy and paste this into the LMS. If you want to do it by email, you can put it into an email. Or if you want students to get to it via your website, you can get this embedded HTML and put it on your Google site that way. So those are three options in which you can use to send out your form to anyone that has to answer that form. With Google Forms, anytime someone actually completes your Google form, you're going to see a number pop up next to the responses here. Because I actually didn't send this one to anyone, you can't see any of the responses. However, we could click on responses and I can explain what it looks like. So here, there's no responses because I didn't have anyone fill this out. But if there were, there would be a pie chart here and it would kind of go through each question and tell you how many students picked a certain answer over another one. So if you see that students are struggling with questions, you can quickly go here and kind of address any of the issues that are common misconceptions within your class. The other thing that we can do is turn off the accepting responses, meaning that you gave them a certain period of time to do it and now you want to not collect responses anymore, so you can just turn it off there. The third thing when it comes to analytics is you can upload all the answers into a spreadsheet. So you can see a student's answers to each question, and later on in the advanced video we're going to show you how to make an answer key so you can actually get a grade for each student. And that's going to bring us to the end of the Google Forms video. If you have any questions or if you want to hop to the advanced section of this, make sure that you contact one of your tech specialists.